You're probably breathing in oxygen right now without even thinking about it. In fact, you've done it thousands of times today. But here's the twist. Oxygen isn't just the gas that keeps you alive. It's one of the most reactive, transformative, and, believe it or not, dangerous elements on our planet. That's right. The same element that gives you life can also slowly destroy almost everything it touches. It rusts metals, fuels fires, and even contributes to aging. Oxygen is both our greatest ally and our quietest threat. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at a simple breath of air the same way again. Oxygen makes up about 21% of the air around us. But that small fraction is responsible for nearly every form of life on Earth. Every cell in your body depends on it to convert food into energy. Without oxygen, you wouldn't last more than a few minutes. But what's fascinating is how it got here in the first place. Billions of years ago, Earth's atmosphere didn't have any oxygen at all. The planet was suffocating under a blanket of carbon dioxide and methane. Then came cyanobacteria, tiny microorganisms that learned how to perform photosynthesis, taking in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen as a byproduct. Over millions of years, they literally changed the planet's atmosphere and made complex life possible. Every breath you take is a direct gift from ancient bacteria. Pretty wild, right? Tell me in the comments if you already knew that life itself created the oxygen we breathe. But oxygen's importance goes far beyond breathing. In industry, it's a workhorse. It helps fuel the high temperatures needed in steelmaking, allowing molten metals to form stronger and purer materials. In hospitals, oxygen is a lifeline, used in surgeries, intensive care, and even in portable tanks for patients with respiratory issues. Astronauts take it with them to space, divers carry it deep underwater, and pilots rely on it when flying at high altitudes. Even the clean flame of a welding torch depends on pure oxygen. You might never see it, but oxygen is quietly behind some of humanity's most powerful tools. Now, here is something that might surprise you. Oxygen is also a key ingredient in one of nature's greatest destructive forces, fire. A flame can't exist without it. Every candle that burns, every forest fire that rages, every rocket that blasts into space, it is all thanks to oxygen's tendency to react with other elements. And that is the paradox of chemistry. The same reaction that gives us warmth and energy can also cause devastation. That's why oxygen storage and handling are so carefully controlled in laboratories and space missions. A single spark in a high oxygen environment can trigger an explosion. It's as if this element has two personalities: life, giver, and destroyer. Comment below if you find this duality as fascinating as I do. But let's talk about oxygen's hidden roles, the ones that aren't so obvious. Did you know oxygen is part of water? Every molecule of water has one atom of oxygen and two of hydrogen. Without it, there would be no oceans, no rain, no rivers. It's also part of carbon dioxide, the gas that plants need for photosynthesis, and part of countless minerals that form rocks, sand, and even your bones. Oxygen is, quite literally, the glue that holds the natural world together. It's the most abundant element in the Earth's crust, making up nearly half of it by weight. So even though we think of oxygen as something we breathe, it's also in the ground beneath our feet, in the water we drink, and even in the food we eat. In medicine, oxygen therapy saves millions of lives each year. It's used to treat patients with heart failure, pneumonia, and even in newborn incubators to help premature babies breathe. But scientists are also discovering new frontiers for this element. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, for example, involves breathing pure oxygen in a pressurized chamber to speed up healing and fight infections. And here's where it gets futuristic. Researchers are studying how to store oxygen in artificial blood substitutes for emergency transfusions, which could revolutionize healthcare in remote or war-torn areas. Just imagine, one element, capable of sustaining life in ways we're only beginning to explore. But as much as oxygen is essential, it also quietly wears things down. It reacts with metals to form rust, with fats in food to make them spoil, and with our cells to cause oxidative stress, one of the reasons we age. That's why antioxidants are so valuable. They help neutralize the reactive oxygen species that damage our cells over time. So the same oxygen that keeps us alive is also slowly aging us. Talk about poetic irony. And beyond Earth, oxygen plays a starring role in our search for life on other planets. When astronomers detect oxygen in the atmosphere of distant worlds, It's considered one of the strongest signs that there might be living organisms there. That ES because oxygen doesn't just stay in the air naturally. It has to be constantly replenished by something, usually life. In a way, oxygen is the universe's signature of biology. Whenever we find it out there, we might be finding hints of something alive. From breathing and burning to building and exploring, oxygen is everywhere. It shapes our world, drives our technology, and connects us to the stars. It's the element that powers every heartbeat, every flame, and every breath of wind. So the next time you take a deep breath, pause for a second and think about what's really happening. That invisible gas entering your lungs isn't just keeping you alive. It is participating in one of the most extraordinary chemical stories in the universe. If this made you see oxygen in a new light, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And tell me in the comments, what do you find most fascinating about oxygen? Its role in life, its power to destroy, or its connection to space exploration? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, because every element on the periodic table has a story to tell, and Oxygen AS is one that keeps our world alive.